And let's. Okay, so now the next problem, secant theta equals 2.
Okay.
So secant theta is not necessarily one of the trig functions that we know right off the bat from the unit circle. So what can we do?
You can change it to the, what's it called, like reciprocal of secant, which is cosine.
Okay, so step by step, the reciprocal means 1 over
1 over secant,
is going
which,
to be,
which is 1 over 2.
okay, that sounds good. Next step,
And then when we change it into cosine, it just means that cosine is equal to 1/2.
so now we have cosine theta is equal to 1/2.
And that is 60 degrees.
60 degrees is a choice, but I have a question, Ashley.
Yes.
Actually, 2 questions. So we have the inverse cosine of 1/2 is 60 degrees. There is another value of theta. Where else, in what other quadrant would cosine be positive?
Cosine would be positive in the 4th quadrant.
Okay, so in the 4th quadrant, with a reference angle of 60 degrees, at what angle would inverse cosine of 1/2, well, what would the value of inverse cosine 1/2 be?
That would be 300 degrees.
Okay, 300 degrees. And you know, working with trig, it is unusual to have an answer in terms of degrees. So let's work on changing the 60 degrees and the 300 degrees to radians.
Okay.
Let's start with the 60 degrees. How would you change that or convert it to radians?
You need to use the conversion ratio, which is pi over 180 degrees.
Okay, so we'll multiply by pi over 180 degrees. And what do we get?
You get get pi over 3.
Okay, good, because you can reduce the 60 and the 180 degrees. Excellent. But now I have a question. Why did you multiply by this particular conversion factor of pi over 180?
Because when you're turning it into radians, you need to cancel out the degree. And in order to do so, you need to have the 180 on the bottom and you need to have pi on top.
Okay, that's true. So when we're multiplying by this fraction, pi radians over 180, what is this fraction actually equal to?
I have no idea.
Okay, this is why I'm asking, because I want you to know why we're doing it. Give me 1 second, okay? Here is another conversion factor. 7 days over 1 week. What is that equal to?
7 days is in 1 week.
7 days is 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
So this fraction, numerator and denominator, are actually the same, which makes the overall fraction equal to
1.
pi radians over 180 degrees is also equal to
1.
And when you multiply anything by 1, you don't change it.
You get 1.
5 times 1 is?
5.
Ashley times 1 is?
Ashley.
Yeah, so it's not that you get 1, you get itself back.
Okay.
Multiplying by 1 is the identity. Okay, so here we're going to multiply by 1 again. 300 degrees. We're going to convert to?
We're going to convert to radians, which is going to be 5 pi over 3.
Good work, because we can reduce by 60, and there we go. And again, as you said before, the degrees drop out and we're left with radians, okay? And this fraction here, pi over 180 degrees, is equal to
Itself. Or 1.
anything over itself. Thank you, it's 1. And when you multiply by 1,
It's equal to itself.
thank you. Okay, you know how important it is for me to make sure you understand. Math is about understanding, not just doing.